Hello, everybody, and welcome to Arena Insight. I'm your host, Brennan Silver, full time father, part time Hearthstone streamer, and you can catch me Sundays through Wednesdays, 8 p.m. to midnight Chicago time, Central Standard Time, middle of America, big Midwest. That's where I'm from. Also, you can catch my other channel, the HS Files, where we dig deep into the paranormals, the strange things that are going on in Hearthstone. We first talked about casting spells, what that means, what does that word mean? I don't know. Check it out. We also talked about excess mana most recently. Where does that card come from? What's it do? Why is it there? I don't know. You tell me. But we created a new channel because I love the arena. That's what I've played for the past 4 years. Hearthstone's been out. It's my favorite mode. I come from a background of Magic the Gathering where I drafted a million times, and now we've done countless arenas. I don't even know. But that's what we're doing on my stream most of the time. When you stop by, we're doing an arena. And since I started streaming, there's been some inconsistencies on the web, on the Hearth Arena, which I started using when I started streaming, actually turned out partly because of this guy, the big guy we're looking at right here. Not you. Don't mean to point at you. Thumbs up to you, friend. The Ravencaller. And part of the reason I love the Ravencaller is because of the extreme value you get. So there's a lot of things going on your screen right now, not just me, even though I'm the big talky one. There's the Ravencaller right here in the middle, the card that we're going to be talking about. And then I've got my own little Excel down here in the corner. It didn't stretch that well. I don't know exactly how to get that set up. Should be legible. Hopefully you guys can read it. But the Ravencaller is rated extremely low on Hearth Arena. Maybe it's improved in the past couple weeks. I don't even know exactly what those numbers mean. But every time I was offered the Ravencaller while using Hearth Arena, it had it lower than the other two cards. And I think that's a huge mistake. Ravencaller gives you so much value, especially in such a limited format. No, it's not the best 3-drop in Arena. I think Stonehill Defender is better, especially for some classes, because this has that random factor. But the random factor is what we love. That's why our stream is called Random Acts of Hearthstone. That's why the first time we climbed to rank 4 was with Yogg Saron Druid. Just love the randomness of Hearthstone. That's what keeps me coming back. That's why we love the arena. And I'm here to discuss Ravencaller today. So I've already said, hey, this card's got some extreme value. I did some research online first off to verify that the two cards can be the same. I didn't find, at least in 5 minutes of searching, any evidence that I was happy saying yes, this was 100% true. It's probably out there somewhere because it is true. I spent 54 times casting Ravencaller, about 50 minutes of setting it up, casting Ravencaller 54 times until I got a combo of 2 of the same minions. I don't have that evidence on here. If you want to see it, shout out to me on Facebook or Instagram. I can send you a picture of it. I took a picture of it, Ravencaller. Thank you for confirming it only after 54. It definitely could have been longer than that. And so in my research also about Ravencaller, I found an article at Gamepedia. Talked about a lot of hate for this card. I get it, especially in Standard. It's not the best. I know it's finding some play in Hunter Quest, which is pretty low on the list anyway. But it also, there was a quote said online, the inconsistency of this card makes it unreliable to play. That's probably true, definitely true in Standard. In Arena, I've got the numbers here, right here on this chart. We'll talk about it. The inconsistency of this card makes it a little hard to rely on in Arena, but the value of it, the 2 cards you can get, the ceiling of the value of this card are well worth its weight in, gold. If you got a shiny one. Maybe we should have crafted one for that. Anyway, what we want to do, at least what I want to do, is let you know the actual breakdown of the value of this card. Right? So you're getting the 2 random 1-drops, and I know how it feels to get 2 of the worst ones, right? To get 2 of the 1-drops that you're thinking to yourself, why is this card even in here, right? So which ones are we looking at? So if we break it down here by minion, this is how I did my research. First we did the one cost, right? And then let's go ahead and remove Raven. That was part of the problem. And then you also got to click, it's hidden back here, but you have to show craftable cards. The reason we have to show craftable cards is because then it will include cards not from packs, but the ones that you actually earn by leveling the classes like Timberwolf. And anyway, the ones that I'm talking about, I know exactly how you feel, right? Let's say your first time playing Ravencall, you end up with 2 Blood Imps. It's possible. I know how you feel. That'll definitely happen sometimes. But the majority of the time, the Ravencaller is going to get you some very good value. Now, for a 3-drop, for a 2/1, it's not as much value as you want out of a 3/3. Obviously, we would have loved if it was a 2/2 or a 2/3. You always want more stats on your favorite cards. But if you're playing the arena and you're looking at your card choices, this gives you extra cards outside of the game. So if it's compared to maybe, let's talk about some other 3-drops, right? So maybe you're looking at some other neutral 3-drops that it's offering you. Boisterous Bard. Sure, that can help you out, but it's not going to give you the extra, go the extra mile and give you the extra added value from outside of the game that the Ravencaller can, and I'm going to argue will sometimes, most of the time. It's not better than Death Speaker, that's for sure, but it's definitely better than Dalaran Mage. I would argue it's better than the Farseer, because yes, this is a 3/3. This is going to give you the value all of the time of the 3 life. Sometimes you play it on curve without getting the value of the 3 health, but the battle cry is there every time. So looking back at our friend the Ravencaller and looking at the pool of cards that it has here, now this is how I did my research. If you know that there's a way that I can remove spells from this search, please let me know in the comments down below, or hit me up on Facebook or something, because I don't know exactly how to do that. I tried typing in minion down here, so I just, while going through it, did some extra care removing them myself, which I'm fine with, because like I said, I come from 25 years of playing physical cards, and we don't have these sweet choices of just removing all of the spells anyway. So I like filtering through the cards on my own and figuring all that out. So because we confirmed that Ravencaller can give 2 of the same card, we're looking at these values over here for getting those pulls. There's 53 minions in here. I went through all of these, made sure I counted it up, checked my list twice. We're looking at all the minions here that could possibly be added to your hand and what value those bring. The fact that they're added to your hand is where the value for Ravencaller comes in, because if we're looking at something like Witch's Apprentice, then the battle cry is great for you, right? So you played a 3-drop 2/1, not the biggest pressure on the board, but he gives you a random shaman spell. That's awesome. That's just really useful. So I'm gonna let's go through our little paperwork over here. These Excels that I like to keep for myself. I like to go through the data myself. I'm sure that there are other people out there, probably some companies, that will break these stats down for you. But I'm a stubborn old man, like to do my own research, so I will go through these myself, wade through the cards myself, just so that I know with 100% accuracy in my heart that these numbers are right, and my heart to yours that they are 100% accurate, and give you the information you want. There's a couple other cards that you can use this data for. Not as helpful because they don't give you 2. They don't go straight to your hand. We're talking about the mushroom, right? The shrieking shroom, which will at the end of your turn pull from this same pool of 53 minions. The 53 minions effects obviously don't help you as much, but when we're looking at taunt, right? If you're saying to yourself, crud, I really need a taunt here, what are my chances? What are my chances of getting a taunt with the shroom compared to maybe another option you might have, right? If they have just one huge fat minion out and you can't deal with it, and you're saying, man, I'm going to drop this guy and take my chances at a taunt. Well, there's 5 minions out of the 53 with taunt. So you have about a 10% chance of getting your Shrieking Shroom to help you out. Not the greatest, not the worst. The other things don't help you as much with the Shrieking Shroom. For example, I broke down here how many of them are elementals. You're not going to play the elemental from your hand with Shrieking Shroom, so you're not going to get the elemental chain. that will help you with Ravencaller, especially since you get 2 of them. You get double your chances at the elemental. It also affects the gravel, excuse me, the gravel snot, gravel, gravel snout, right? Gravel snot, gravel snout, gravel. Let's look at him so that I can get the name right. I'm pretty sure it's gravel snout, but he's got a funny name there. Oh, I think he's hiding back here. There he is, Gravel Snout Knight. Again, same thing, the battle cry won't trigger from him, but if you're thinking about playing him against your opponent where you're ahead and you're worried about getting a taunt, now you know for sure that the chance of them getting a taunt from this guy is almost 10%. So you might want to make your attacks first, or always consider that, right? Now, you play Hearthstone all the time. The reason you're watching this video is because you play Hearthstone. So I'm not telling you anything new here as far as, crud, my knight could give them something with taunt, right? But now you know the exact number of it, right? The breakdown of it. There's also 2 minions that have Divine Shield and Taunt, which is pretty good for 1 mana. So we're looking at your Gravels now almost a 4% chance of giving them that kind of value there, just so you know. Or the Ravencaller giving you that value to your hand, which is what we're talking about. This is only for standard because it's an arena breakdown. We're talking about the arena. Huge arena guy right here. 2 thumbs at this guy. But we could, if you guys have a lot of interest in it, we could do this for Wild. If you guys are playing a lot of Wild, if they're ever going to release a Wild arena that you can play regularly, then we will definitely do breakdowns like this for that. I've been avoiding Wild simply because I don't have enough time. The arena's number 1. Then the Monster Hunt's been pretty fun, but when the Monster Hunt's not around, I'm gonna try to get to Legendary for the first time this season. So stay tuned for that. Come to the stream, cheer me on. Let me know what you guys are playing. So back to Ravencaller. I've gotten already some feedback that I kind of ramble a little bit, so let's try to make this video not as long as some of my other ones. But back to the Ravencaller, the reason you take this card in Arena, and if you're not taking it right now because of what Hearth Arena says or because of your biases against it, please just try for the next couple times taking it. I'm not saying to take it over the Lich King. It's not going to be offered in those card pools anyway. But most of the time, 90% of the time, when I'm offered the Ravencaller, it's worth taking over the other minions that are next to it. So give it a try. Here's the breakdown of it. We're going to go through these really quick so that you have a better idea of what you're getting out of the value of Ravencaller. The biggest drawback of Ravencaller is its 2/1 power. So let's just jump to the bottom of our chart here. Here's what the minion breakdown is. Now we're looking at only 44 of the 53 because the other power and life, the attack and life of the minions are a little bit all over the place. There's a 0/4, one of the taunts is 0/4, one of the elementals is 3/1. With Wind Fury, one of the demons is 3/2, but he hits your face. But in overall, this is 83% of the minions are in this range here. So yes, you're using 3 mana to get a 2/1, but the most likely scenarios out of that, you also get a 1/1, a 2/1, and or a 1/2, right? Those are the 3 most likely ones. So for 3 mana, let's say you end up with 2 1/1s. So for 3 mana, you end up with 4/3 value. So that's much closer to what we expect out of a 3 mana one. Yes, you have to spend the 2 more mana on that, but those usually come with bonuses. Like Firefly here gives you another minion. Glacial Shard here freezes something for you, right? Not all of them are going to be that great, and some of them could give you a drawback, right? So you might end up with a Murloc from your Ravencaller, and your opponent might end with a Hungry Crab from their Ravencaller. It's going to happen. Most of the time, though, the value is compounded. You're going to get value from Ravencaller, and the value is from these up here. So we're going to look at these up here. Like I said before, 5 taunt, 2 of those taunt with Divine Shield. The extreme value comes from the Discover, right? There's a very limited card set right now in Arena. We're looking at 4 card sets that will expand to 6, so this list will grow by quite a bit. But since the arena list is so small and it's got the basic set in there, it's got the original set, you're looking at a lot of cards that do not have Discover on them. You're looking at a lot of cards that do not give you that value outside of game. So in arena, anything that gives you the card advantage is huge. Right now, that's Ravencaller. So there's 5 cards with Discover. I put a little asterisk there because one of those is our good friend the Chameleon. We're going to check him out real quick. Technically not a Discover. We also counted him as a beast here because when you first add him to your hand, yes, he's a beast. So there's really more like 12. But if your opponent's hand is empty or you need a beast that turn for whatever reason, if you're a hunter holding on to something that helps your beast, this guy you can drop with your Ravencaller that turn and then maybe adapt it so that you get some taunt on there to save your life, you know. So yes, technically a beast. No, technically not a Discover, but the Discover here we're considering as a value outside of the game. The Chameleon, last time I got him, actually in an arena, I had discovered him from Ravencaller, and he turned into an ultimate infestation from my opponent's hand. So it was some insane value from Ravencaller. So the ceiling of Ravencaller's value is way up here. Yes, that is an extreme case. That's not going to happen that often, but the value you get from Ravencaller does reach higher than a lot of other cards that you're going to see, especially in the arena. It's going to give you that balance. The other 4 Discovers, 2 of them are Battle Cry effects and 2 of them are Death Rattle effects. So the Battle Cry, one's a Jeweled Macaw, going to give you a random beast to your hand. So you're going from getting 2 random 1-drops to also getting random beast in your hand, which, man, that's why we play Hearthstone, right? That's exactly what we want out of Hearthstone. Just keep adding it in there. And then the other Battle Cry is the Witch's Apprentice. We had talked about that. And again, there is a chance, however small, of getting 2 of the same minion. It is a very small chance because it's extremely unlikely. So we're looking at, you know, less than 1%. It's not going to happen all the time. But for me, it only took 54 tries. You play Arena, you cast your Ravencaller all the time, you never know. And then we've got the Crystalline Oracle is one of the Death Rattles, gets a card from your opponent decks, and then the other one is the Egg. It's a neutral card, gives you a completely random dragon, right? So your Ravencaller could give you a random dragon. I'm telling you, that's extremely valuable in Arena. That's why we take Bone Drake right away. Obviously, you could end up with a Fairy Dragon here, but you could also end up with an Alexstrasza. What are the chances of getting the dragon? We'll talk about that next time. You guys want to know the stat breakdown of dragons? We could definitely talk about cracking eggs next time. So, we also have a couple other values here. You might be looking for a heal. This is your heal. There's 2 lifesteals. We got the Leech and the Murloc. You also might be looking for a specific minion type, so we broke those down here. They're not always good for you. Getting a pirate could be bad, right? I didn't talk about charge because there's only the 2 charges. We got the boar, and then we also have the deckhand if you have a weapon. So those stats all break down, right? So you could use this chart for any of those things that you're looking for. Just quick thinking in your head, hey, what is this? I didn't want to make the chart huge. And then there's a bunch of unique minions that we didn't put on here because a single one, again, is just under 2% of getting it there, right? Since there's 2 pulls, you have twice that chance of getting it. If you're really lucky, you end up with 2 of them. But if you're just looking for one, you at least get 2 pulls at the 53 cards to get it. So shout out to my favorite, the Arcane Artificer back in Mage, right here. This is one of my favorite ones to get with Ravencaller. It gives you all sorts of options. The only way of gaining armor for a lot of classes is discovering a card like this guy. So his chances aren't different from any of the other unique ones, but he's not part of this database because there's only one of them. Same thing for Mana Worm's a great one that you can get. There's the Freeze Elemental we already talked about. There's the Norshire Cleric. Not always going to help you because you might not have that many heals, but there is a chance that you end up with the cleric and your very own what's the name of this guy? I forgot him, but he's right here. We were just looking at him. Your own voodoo doctor, right? Ravencaller could give you that kind of synergy there. And those are Bloodseer Corsair, right? You could end up destroying your opponent's weapon thanks to Ravencaller. Leper Gnome is great too. It can give you the extra damage that you need right here. So this is just a really good card. Okay, it's not what we want in standard. It's not part of the meta. It's one of those Hearthstone cards that somebody like me, who just loves the arena, loves the randomness, is going to play. But I'm not playing it for the memes, guys. This is a valuable card. Okay, play some arenas. If you play arena all the time like I do, you probably already know what I'm talking about. You're probably sniffing around Ravencaller, or maybe you're already pulling it a little bit higher than some of the recommendations are out there for some of the apps. But I had to turn off the apps myself because it was not telling me what I wanted to hear, because I knew, looking at the numbers here, that it's totally worth it. So if you're having trouble in arena, if you haven't played arena in a while, jump in there, try the Ravencaller. Let me know how it works for you. Okay, I want to know if you agree. Have you guys been pulling Ravencaller and just not getting the value that you want? It's only a 3-drop minion. You're not getting that kind of value out of 3-drop minions unless it's a legendary, right? And the way that they've changed the arena drafting, the picks algorithm, it's not going to be next to other cards that are that valuable, especially since the system and the apps and those guys rate it so low. So give it a try. I'm telling you, you will be happy. At least one game. I'm not going to guarantee it happens all the time, but give it a go. One game, it's going to win you. One game, it's going to win you the game. I guarantee it. So give Ravencaller a try. Let me know how it works for you. Let me know on my stream. Again, that's Sundays through Wednesdays, 8 p.m. to midnight, Chicago Standard Time. Hit me up in that Midwest, woo, America. I don't know why I do those things. I don't know. I'm sorry. And that was our Arena Insight for this week. If you have any other stats you want us to break down for Arena, we'll jump into that. And next week we will continue our HS files. Let me know below. Hit me up on Facebook. All those things. What you're thinking about the Ravencaller, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys. See you next week. Bye.